सर्वेभ्यः सर्वाभ्यश्च समारम्भार्थं स्वागतं व्याहरामि, हार्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि. I heartily welcome all of you to the last session, the valedictory session of this wonderful course, and mainly to the chief guest of today, Ram Mahodaya, Raja Raman Mahodaya. We are very fortunate and honored to have you here as a chief guest for today. औपचारिकरीत्या किञ्चित् वक्ष्ये बालभाषितम् इति ज्ञात्वा भवान् निरक्षीरन्यायेन माम् अनुगृह्णन्तु इति प्रार्थये. So Raja Raman Mahodaya is a very close associate of Vyoma Labs, and also us. He is our Shringeri Guru Bandhava for a very long time now. Few things which I would want to speak about him is that he is also a person who has studied Vedanta from Brahmarshi Goda Venkateshwara Shastrigal, and he has been doing upanyasams on various topics of Vedanta, Puranas, from the age of 80. So it is the experience which would speak more about him. I'm really in lack of words to speak anything about him. Anna is doing his doctorate as of now from Anna University, and he is working as an assistant professor in Rajalakshmi Engineering College. The best thing what we can tell about him is that it was a very last minute request what we made to Anna for gracing this occasion, and he has been very, very kind and taken out his time and come to this early morning session, and he has been a part of this. So we are always indebted and grateful to you, Anna. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much. I would now request you to please grace us with a few words about Maneesha Panchakam and Acharya's Granthas.
Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Bharati Karunapatram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudam Bharati Tirtham Ashriye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidushekara Bharati. It is a great pleasure for me to conclude this session on Maneesha Panchakam by Shri Lalith ji. As soon as I heard that this Maneesha Panchakam class is going on in the morning, it seems to be a very comfortable time for us in India. Number one, what I would like to say is, in Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam, Vidyaranya Swami tells that Pratar Vaidika Karmaha Tadanusat Vedanta Sanchintanate. So, which happened exactly here. It has been instructed to listen to the Vedanta Tattva as soon as possible in the morning, before our minds possibly get corrupted out of the activities of the day, having required to keep engaged in the world before it gets polluted with the worldly activities. If we could give a lot of inputs to the mind with regard to our own Swarupam, then it would be pretty helpful for us. So by following these words of Vidyaranya, we were able to listen to Vedanta Tattva as soon as possible in the morning. Number one. Number two is the topic chosen. In the Puranas, there is a very famous quote telling that Prayena Alpayushaha Samya Sabhya Kalavasmin Yuge Janaha Mandaha Sumandamadayaha Mandabhagya Hibadhrutaha Iti. So it would not be possible for everybody to keep listening for very long texts for very long years. The ability to grasp, the ability to keep ourselves reminded of the previous topics. We can listen. Of course, it is recommended to listen to Vedanta for years, but still, if the topic would be as small as possible, but still conveys the whole idea as a very big topic like Viveka Chudamani or the Upanishads, which will be none other than Maneesha Panchakam itself. The five Ratnams that Lalith has chosen, the 5 slokas in which Maneesha Panchakam conveys everything. Hasta Amalakamiva, in our own hands. So the two from the words of Bhagavad Padacharya, there is no more grantha, because mandaha sumandamateha mandabhagyaha hibadritaha. We are restricted with a lot of, or we engage ourselves with a lot of responsibilities. The time that we could spend with Vedanta is merely possibly 2 or 3 hours per day. So if we could have such a text which is pretty comprehensive in nature and could convey us all the ideas in a few weeks, then that is one of the greatest. One more thing I would like to convey here is, I had the great fortune of being at one of the, or doing service to Acharya during one of Acharya's Digvijayam a decade ago, during which Acharya visited Teni. It is very famous that we had Swami Omkaranda Swamiji's ashramam there, and Acharya visited there. And once he visited, there were a lot of sannyasis. When compared to the grihasthas, there were a lot of sannyasi sadhakas who were living there, doing Shravana Manana and Nididhyasanam there. So Acharya took up this Maneesha Panchakam to give them as Upadesam, in which the specific sloka that Acharya took was Sashvin Ashwarameva Vishwamakilam Nischitya Vacha Guru. So Acharya took this up and told, you can take up sannyasam, leave grihastha do Shravanam. And Acharya asked this question, Swamiji, you are asking us to leave our families, you are asking us to leave our profession and take up sannyasa only to do Atma Vichara. Then how will we even eat after that? Where will we get food from? Who is going to give us food? And then Acharya gave this answer. I was really fortunate that I was there. I am pretty sure if there was a Jignasu of the highest caliber, I believe that he wouldn't have returned to his home. He would have directly gone for sannyasa after that Anugraha Bhashanam. It was such powerful, because Acharya gave this answer telling that after years and years and years of punyam, you will be able to hear even a single vakyam of Vedanta, or you will be able to find a guru who could teach you Vedanta. If you are able to accomplish that, compared to this punyam, to eat an armful on a daily basis would not require such punyam at all. So if you are able to accomplish to hear the Vedanta Tattvam from a guru, then you need not worry about eating food at all. Because there is a common saying in Tamil, there was a person who laid a very big shed for an elephant. So he made this shed out of steel, and then he made a very big entrance for the elephant to enter the shed. And what that fellow did was, he even had a small entrance just closer to the bigger one. And everybody asked him why. He told, the elephant will enter through the bigger one. The small elephant or the elephant kid will enter through the other one. And everybody told, why is this even required? When you have an opening where the big elephant can enter, the elephant kid can easily go through that. The same way Acharya told, when you have the punyam to hear the Vedanta, you need not worry about eating on a daily basis. So the moment you hear the Mahavakyas from the mouth of your Gurunatha, who himself is a Swanubhavabhuti Sampannaha, you need not worry about all this daily routines and eating and all. You should be prepared to leave off everything and dedicate yourself for Atma Vichara. So such is the topic that Lalith ji has spoken, because when Acharya finds a group of sannyasis and he had only 20 minutes to address, he chose Maneesha Panchakam. So such is the caliber of Maneesha Panchakam. So we were all blessed enough to hear this from Lalith ji, who is a Sampradaya with it, because we are encouraged only to learn from a Sampradaya with, who has come in a Sampradayam, who has come in a Vedika Sampradayam. Otherwise, though he is very intelligent, Bhagavad Padacharya tells, Murkavadu Upasatpaniyaha, you should not learn from such a person. You should learn only from a person who is educated, who who has come down in such a parampara. And added to all this, he is also a priya shishya of our Mahasanidhanam and Sanidhanam of Sringeri, which connects all of us together. So it is, I conclude by thanking Lalith ji, Vyoma ji, the Vyoma Labs, also to remember me on this occasion, to allow me to speak a few words on Maneesha Panchakam and on Lalith ji. Thanks a lot. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Dhanyavadaha, Mahodaya. Thank you so much. Your words were as if there is rain after a Mahayagnya. Dhanyavadaha. Okay. I would now request Lalith Mahodaya to speak a few words on how his experience was in this case.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram. First of all, namaskaram to my Guru Bandhu, Shri Rajaramanji, who has very graciously given us his presence and his time this morning. We are all Guru Bandhus, but there will always be those who are, ever so more dear. So, Rajaramanji has been in my sight since the Guru Bandhava channel started. And I had the fortune of meeting him in Sringeri this past summer. It is always a pleasure to meet a Sahadhyayi and Satirtha. So, especially one that is so well educated and that has done so many pravachanas and upanyasas and Bhagavata pravachanas, and above all, one who has intense Guru Bhakti. I think everything else aside, that is really what connects Shishyas. It is when you find someone that truly believes in Acharya and has bhakti towards Acharya and in the teachings of Acharya, and not just has bhakti. There are plenty of people that have bhakti but live their life the way that Acharya would want them to lead their life. It is a pleasure and a fortune to have the samparka of such people. So we have all gotten that samparka today by the presence of Rajaramanji. So once again, namaskaramji. Thank you for coming. What to say about Maneesha Panchakam? I have said I have been the only one talking for the last 5 days. So it is a beautiful text. Exactly the reasons that Rajaramanji said. It is of the highest caliber. As I said, it is the 4 shlokas. The first 4 shlokas are the summaries of the 4 Mahavakyas that, as he said, are what is supposed to be contemplated upon by sannyasis. So they are the essence of the Upanishads. They sum up pretty much every angle of Vedanta that you can think of, and it is done very succinctly, shortly, in a way that is easy for everyone to learn. So the text itself, whether studying or teaching, both are a pleasure. I was also very happy to see the questions that were being asked after the classes, because ours is a sampradaya that lives off of pariprashna. If you have finished the lecture and you do not raise, if no questions come from the audience, then the lecturer has not done his job as a teacher, and the audience, you cannot you do not know if the audience was listening or not. But the lecturer at least has not done his job if there are no questions after the pravachanam or after the class. So I was very happy that there were questions. I was very happy with the enthusiasm with which they were asked. It was my pleasure to answer them, and of course going forward also. Bhagavad Pada's granthas are studied for one reason: A, they are clear; B, they are short, and as I said, they are written for every type of sadhaka possible. So I think I said this in one of the earlier classes. If someone needs serious texts, you have Sutatraya, you have Prasthanatraya Bhashya. If you know Sanskritam and you are willing to put some extra time every day, you have things like Dakshinamurti Stotra, Harimedestava. If you are someone that is not there yet but just wants to do Bhagavan Nama Smarana, there are stotras. So if you want to do Vedanta proper but through a Prakarana Grantha style, then you have Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Viveka Chudamani, Upadesh Sahasri, you have granthas like that. So Bhagavad Pada has taken contingencies and redundancies to ensure that every single person possible has been included in his audience when he writes texts, which is why he alone is deserving of the title Jagat Guru. There is no one in this Jagat that cannot benefit from the work and from the teachings that Bhagavad Pada has given us. The reason I am stressing this is because actually Vivekananda once said something in his speeches. Vivekananda, of course, will say things very emphatically. He said, if someone who is not a Rishi has written something, we do not need to read that. It is a very bold statement to make, but the principle is what we need to look at. Our sampradaya, as I said in the end, is one of jnanis. People who know write, people who theorize do not write, people who guess do not write, people who infer do not write. People who have known and people who have experienced will write. So Bhagavad Pada or the acharyas in that parampara all fall into that caliber. So every single word that we have gotten from Bhagavad Pada is a great fortune. As Rajaramanji said, only with Aneka Janma Punya, it is possible to get the Vedanta Vasana. And Pai Dikshita says, Tathapya Nugrahadeva Tarunendu Shikhamani Advaita Vasana Pumsam Bhavati na Anyatha. So only through the Anugraha, some Anugraha Vishesha of Bhagavan and the Guru, we will get the opportunity and the inclination to study this Vedanta. So given that we all have the opportunity, we all have a human birth, that too in India, it is a first fortune to be born in India or to be born as an Indian. Then that too within this sampradaya, that too within an environment that has given us an ability to learn granthas like this. So basically, organizations like Vyoma Labs, these are all the products of our works over the last few lives and of whatever work we have put in this life also. So it is important that we are both happy that we have an opportunity and that we also make the most of this opportunity. So nothing more to say than that, really. I think any gunas over the last 5 days are due to Jagadguru's blessings. If there was anything that was unclear or said improperly, that comes from me, who is the instrument. So just making that one vijnapana, and looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I will take my leave. Thank you.
Dhanyavadaha, Mahodaya. We are really in lack of words to explain about the experience which we have had over a few days now. We are surely looking forward to a lot of more courses from you. So, औपचारिकरीत्या अन्यत् किमपि वक्तव्यम् अस्ति. Some amount of course statistics or course analytics. We had about 6 days of classes, including today. We will have a total video hours of about 6 hours and more. As of yesterday, we had 348 learners who have joined to this course, and average hours of interaction is about 5.5 hours for the whole of this course. We also had an average attendance of 67 people, almost about 60 to 67 people, more than 50 at least, attending on a daily basis. And we have seen a gradual increase in the registration. We have released this course long ago, and it has been a very fruitful experience for all of us. All thanks to the efforts of the team members, to the efforts of many people who have been pratyakshataya, parokshataya, who have made a lot of efforts for this course to be a success, and mainly the learners who have been a part of all of this. Dhanyavada to everybody. So these are some of the things which have been going on in Vyoma. As Mahodaya told, we are just a fruit of what our gurus have taught us and what we have been able to come about. And this will not be possible without the help of all of you. You may still be a part of this. You may still keep supporting us in different ways, in a lot of different ways. One thing is, as Rajaraman told, Nitya Vedanta Chintana on daily morning. At least if you sit every day morning, as soon as you wake up and recite this Maneesha Panchakam, that itself is a huge seva to Samskrita Mata, huge seva to Vedanta Acharyas and everybody. One more thing is, please spread the word that such courses are available. Please make sure that many people come and join these courses so that even they are benefited. Ekaswadhuna Bunjita. We are all having the experience of such great granthas, such gurus alone. Let us do it with a team. Let us make sure that a team comes in, or a set of people, a group of people who are samanaskaha, sabuddhi people come to this and learn all of this. And every day, let us make sure Samskrita is studied, all the granthas of Acharyas and Vedi. You can volunteer and also do a different set of different types of contributions to this Samskrita Seva. Without this, without the help of you, this Ratha of Samskrita, this Ratha of spreading Samskrita to all of us, all the people around the world is not possible. So we request all of you to please help us. We are all doing it. Please bring in more people and please help us spread this more with others is what the request is from our end. Ultimately, learn Sanskrit, learn Sanskrit, be happy, not just happy, really happy. We have all seen how important it is for us to first do the Bhasha Dhyanam, then Grantha, Shastra, and then get into Anubhava. So, as a learning which we have got from our gurus, the Bija, the first seed for getting into any Grantha like this, or getting into any Shastra as Vedanta, it would be Bhasha first. So, please learn Sanskritam and spread it. Is the request from us. Dhanyavadaha sarvebhyah sarvabhyascha. If we have any people who would want to share your experience, we request you to please do the same. Lalith Mahodaya, should we first finish the question answer session and then we can go to the testimonials if it is okay? So if anybody has any questions, please raise your hands.
You will do one or two. Not, I don't want to keep people too long.
Yes.
Any chance of having a class for Sadhana Panchakam? That is in the Putakala. We have already had a class for Sadhana Panchakam, and the videos are uploaded on YouTube. The Mahavakyas again for each shloka. For the first shloka, Prajnanam Brahma. For the second shloka, Aham Brahmasmi. Third shloka, Tattvamasi. Fourth shloka, Vyoma-Atman Brahma. Those are the 4 shlokas for each Mahavakya. Yat chitte nitaram prashanta kalani is not satisaptami. Chitte prashanta kalani yat labdha. So that is an adhikaranartha. So in the mind, having found that Brahman which. So it is not satisaptami, it is adharasaptami. We'll do 1 or 2 questions from people that have raised hands.
Ram Mahodaya, Namaste. And I just wanted, this is my doubt. We have the Brahma Vakyam which says that Tattvam Asi. That is, you are that. So we are that Brahmananda. And in today's class, you said that the Brahma and other Devatas are just a fraction and a fraction of that Ananda, which means even human beings will be less than that. So how do we connect this Mahavakyam to this part of it, Mahodaya?
I'm trying to, I don't think I understood the question properly. So if we are, so if that in Tattvamasi, if we are Brahman, then how is it that the human Ananda is less than everything else? Is that correct?
Yes, Mahodaya. That is what I wanted to know.
So Tattvamasi means if you realize you are Brahman, then you have Brahmananda. If you don't realize you are Brahman, then you don't have Brahmananda. You have the Ananda of whatever you identify as. So if you're still thinking I am a human in this body, then you will have the Ananda of a human. If you realize your true nature to be Brahman, then you will have the Ananda of Brahman. So that is the reconciliation.
Dhanyavadaha, Guruji.
Ashok ji?
Namaskar, Mahodaya. I will just ask two questions only in at one stage, so that we will not lose time. Number one is that many times, we confuse Brahman and Brahma. Means actually, I understand that we are talking about achieving Brahman, a Brahman state. But sometimes people call Brahma or Brahman in a mixed way. I think sometimes it is clarification. Is it achieving Brahma or achieving Brahman? The second question is that, just you have mentioned that, Brahmanuchintanam means your example of some Kitakam means when he thinks about that, it becomes that. So if I say continuously or at most many times, I'm Brahmasmi, I'm Brahmasmi, I'm Brahmasmi, or I am Brahma, I am Brahma, is it a proper way? Because if you ask me Marathi also the Ganeshwara's text, one text has told like that. Go on saying I'm Brahma, I'm Brahma, I'm Brahma. I really don't understand that. By saying myself I'm Brahma, how can I achieve Brahman?
Both fair questions. The first one, I think I might have mentioned this on the first day. The root for both words is Brahman only. When it is put into the Pumlinga conjugation, it means Chaturmukha Brahma, husband of Saraswati. When it is put into the Napumsakalinga conjugation, it means the Parabrahman, the Brahman that is Atma, the Brahman that is Satchidananda. So by looking at the shloka and seeing if it is in Pumlinga or Napumsakalinga, you can tell which Brahma it is referring to. And that aside, you can look at the Prakarana, right? If it is talking about something Nitya, then it is the Atma Brahman. If it is talking about something Anitya or a Devata, then it is the Chaturmukha Brahman, is the, Jagat Srashta and all that. As far as the second one goes, the Brahmana Ketanyaya is only just a simile really to show that, dhyana of one thing can help you become it. It is not meant that the exact process that the caterpillar does is what we are supposed to follow. Here in our case though, the nididhyasana of Aham Brahmasmi needs to happen. It is not just the repetition of the words of Aham Brahmasmi, but the nididhyasana means the application of the import of that vakya to ourselves. The understanding of that vakya, the internalization of that vakya is what needs to happen for us to get Brahmajnana. So it is not just the repetition of the sentence that needs to happen.
Nididhyasana means, I understand Shravan Manan. Nididhyasana means what more it means apart from Mananam?
Practical application. Mananam is just proving it to ourselves, right? Logically through Shastra, proving it to ourselves. So yes, Chaitanya is of this nature. Yes, I am Brahman. This is true. Proving that to ourselves academically through Shastra, through Tarka and all of that is Mananam. Nididhyasanam is, so it is one thing as we said, right, to academically understand it, but to actually bring it into experience. So doing dhyana, nididhyasana literally means to do dhyana repeatedly. So to meditate upon that fact, to internalize that fact, to become that, that is the process of nididhyasana.
Okay. Dhanyavad. Really, we are grateful to you. If you can take up the course of Atma Bodha, I will be the first to join, I should say.
Okay, you shall see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let us proceed forward.
So we have I will be lowering everybody's hands for now. I request you to please raise your hands to give your testimonials. Please let us know how you felt about the course. Anybody who would want to speak? We shall quickly finish this as of now. Lalita Mahoday.
Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Namo
ma'am.
Namaha. The feeling was like Sri Dakshinamurti giving knowledge to all his disciples. There it was Maunam, but here Lalith ji has given us total encompassing knowledge covering the entire Maneesha Panchakam. It was so overwhelming to listen from such a young guru. We are all truly blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mahoday. Ashok Mahoday.
am I listening me, sir?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Okay. So I must say very frankly that I'm extremely happy we are participating of this course, and I have really every day after attending in the class I am again seeing in the evening also for Manan, we can say, not the Manan. Means it is a very pleasure to listen to him again and again, and one cannot say we understood the topic, but we have to study a lot to understand the topic. And I hope I will be able to do that. But I thank you, Mr. Lalith Mahodaya, for his presentation and lucid presentation, very clear presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Lakshman. I request you to give some contact numbers or email for Mr. Lalith, and we will be happy. Dhanyavad.
We shall surely share it after consulting, sir. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद. नमस्कार महोदय, अनिल महोदय, नमस्कार.
धन्यवादाः. SR वल्लूरि महोदय. Mahodaya.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Namaskaram, sir. I also remember this Dakshinamurti Stotram, as somebody said it. Chitram Bhatataro Mule Vruddha Sisha Guru Yuva. A young teacher teaching old people like us. We are so happy about it. Thank you very much. And the topic is not that simple and to understand, is difficult to teach, difficult to understand also. But Guruji explained in a very simple manner for us to understand, and it requires a lot of contemplation and a lot of thinking about what is taught. That is important. But I thank you very much, sir. You have done a great job to give us some knowledge for us. Thank you very much. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadah. Anybody else who wants? Nagendra Babu. Nagendra Babu, Kripya, please.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, namaste. I really enjoyed this course, which is a summary of the 4 Mahavakyas. Lalith Mahodaya explained this beautifully with the Padacheda, Tatparya, and also the detailed commentary of each verse. That was really amazing. And one more thing I liked was the question and answer session. His patience to answer the questions from all the attendees. I know some of us do not have much background in Vedanta, and I loved his patience in answering all the questions, even though some of them were very basic, but still he took a lot of time and effort to quote the references from other scriptures and explain it to all of us. So it was a wonderful course. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else who would want to speak, who would want to share your experience, may please speak. Please raise your hand. We shall wait for another 5 minutes and we will close. Okay. Lakshmi. Lakshmi Kumar Mahodaya. Ram Ram Ram. Okay. think there was some issue in that. Anybody else who would want to speak? Okay. Dhanyavadaha sarvebhyah sarvabhyah. Mahodaya, there are some more questions in the question answer box. Would you want to answer them?
Yeah, sure. What are the sadhanas that women can do during Ashocha also? Okay, I think you're typing an answer for that, right? No? Okay, it said that Vyoma is typing an answer. I think we actually covered this in the Sadhana Panchakam class, but literally what we are doing right now is something that women can do. There is no restriction on reading these Prakarana Granthas and learning the meaning. So, this is a good place to start. Your Muni who is Nirvriti attains moksha. Yogi following the Yoga Darshana, can they also attain moksha? As we said yesterday, right? So it will get you to Samadhi, but you need to get to a one like half step past Samadhi, wherein the mind is not just arrested but dissolved. So with the Yoga Darshana, you will be able to arrest the mind completely. You need to be able to dissolve it into the Brahman. That is why we got the Galita Dhihi in the shloka today. Is there a reason why he chooses Guru? Why he calls a person who realized a Guru instead of calling him a Jnani or Mukta? Not particularly. I mean, the weight of the word Guru is different, right? In our Sampradaya. And that aside, it is also a reminder to us that Jnanis are all Gurusthaniyas. There is no such thing as, this Jnani is a Guru, that Jnani will not be a Guru, this Jnani we should listen to, that Jnani we should not listen to. Jnanis are all the embodiment, they have become Parabrahma, right? Brahmaiva, not Brahma. So it is just kind of a reminder to tell us that they are all Gurusthaniyas for us. Yeah, so I think that is a good stopping point. And Lakshmanji.
Right, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha, Ananta Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much. Ram Ram.
Pramodaha.